This is Kaufman is Alive YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, Spawn number 354 by Image Comics. Got a cover here by Puppeteer Lee, and the cover here looks totally different than the kind of art that's inside here. We got Brett Booth as the main artist on the interiors. Big fan of his style, very much a kind of a Jim Lee 90s throwback style. Got some great inks in here too by Adelso Corona. He does a great job over Brett Booth's pencils, but quite a juxtaposition here between the cover and what the inside looks like. I'm not always a big fan of that in comic books. I would kind of maybe prefer if Brett Booth drew the cover too, but at least we do kind of get Spawn. Looks like he's hoarding over this, could be a vampire with his entrails all hanging out, so that's what we got going on in the comic book, at least, is vampires and hunting Spawn here. Basically, it's an extension of Marvel's Blood Hunt, you could say. We've got Spawn fighting these vampires here. There's this bad guy named Blood in the Spawn universe who is basically the Dracula of the Spawn universe. So, world record-breaking comic, it says, of course. Spawn is the longest-running creator-owned comic, still going today. You know, Todd doesn't do any of the art in here anymore. He does some writing, but and he hasn't done the art since, like, the first year or so of the Spawn comic. But still the longest-running creator-owned comic going. They've never renumbered it to number 1 or anything, so it's always cool to pick up a comic book that's at number 354. So Spawn is met with Cyan here, who's the daughter of Wanda, who's of course Al Simmons' love of his life. And this is actually a flashback. We start here, it's like 2 months ago, after the events of Spawn number 350, where there's a new king of hell who's taken the throne, but it wasn't Spawn. And basically, Cyan's explaining that she still talks to Wanda. Al says she made it out of hell. And she says, I don't know necessarily, but she said she's okay. She talks to her in her dreams. And she says that Mom said she's glad you made the right choice. So that gives Al some comfort at least. Then we flash forward to the present day. And Spawn, he's got this new ally here. And they're running from the vampires. Again, really cool art by Brett Booth. I really love the inks in here too. Like I've said on a couple other videos though, I don't understand Spawn's powers at this point. He's apparently lost all his powers, but I don't know, can he still turn into Al Simmons? But here he's drawn with like his, scarred meat face. So there it is there too. So I really don't understand kind of what Spawn's power set is at this point. He's using guns now instead of like his green laser plasma powers. So that's good. It's cool to see Spawn using guns. I like that. But some intense action scenes. Brett Booth's really good at drawing like fast-paced action, I feel like. He's done a lot of work at Image before. Backlash was his creator-owned character. He's done some work on Wildcats and X-Men most recently too. So Jason Wynn is here. He's got a fixer who's trying to get Spawn, and he's actually hunting Spawn's ally here, who we don't really know her name yet, although we learn it coming up here soon. But the fixer gets caught by these vampires. Nice Spawn face here. But yeah, Spawn, he's like, who are you? She says this isn't the best time. He's trying to figure out if she's from heaven or hell. She says her name is Lyra, and because of her parents' powers, she's basically a hybrid. So I'm guessing essentially she's like a mutant. She doesn't work for heaven or hell, but she's getting hunted by the vampires here, so would have been cool to see Brett Booth do some Blood Hunt, I feel like. Awesome splash page here. Like I said, Booth is great at drawing like motion in his drawings, giving his drawings a sense of motion, I should say. So they're being hunted down by the vampires. They're trying to shoot him back, but they crash the bike. Really love this drawing. All these panels look really cool. They're caught here by a Reaper who's working with the vampires, even though he's worked for Heaven in the past and he's been an ally of Spawn before. This is Blood, the Dracula version in Spawn here. He's the leader of the vampires. And he forces Reaper here actually to drive his giant Reaper blade into his own chest. And he kills himself. Of course, this is just to drive Spawn mad, basically. And we see the Fixer got picked up, Jason Wynn's Fixer, by somebody. We see some little green feathers here, maybe to kind of give us a hint. And he comes up into the sky and he lands right down here. Nice superhero pose right here. And a nice splash page to end the book. Jim Downing arrives from Greenworld. He's now working with Nyx, who took the throne in Hell. And so now Greenworld is basically in charge of Hell, which is like, you know, Gaia and nature and everything. So Jim Downing's working with them, and he's showing up now to confront Spawn and the vampires. So then we get Spawn's power meter. He's at 1. He's been at 1 ever since Spawn 350 because he's totally powerless. So that's it for this issue. I like the art in it. Really not much going on, though, in the story right now. Kind of feels like another filler issue here. So if you're a fan of, you know, Brett Booth's art, I'd say pick it up. Otherwise, this is one you could probably skip. I've got daily comic book reviews up on my channel, so please go check them out. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do, and I'll see you on the next video.